Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to take a guided tour through a really unique piece of medical history, the Electrohomeopathic Mini Pocketbook. Now, our goal here isn't to judge it or say if it works or not. We're just here to explore it, to crack open this book and understand the intricate system it lays out, using its own words.
All right, so here's our game plan for digging into this. We're going to start with the big question, what is it? Then we'll look at how all its remedies are organized, see how they're actually combined in the real world, and finally, we'll unpack the core philosophy that kind of holds the whole thing together.
So, first things first, what exactly is electrohomeopathy? Let's try to define it using the book's own terms, so we can really get a handle on its foundational principles.
When you boil it all down, the entire system is built on a pretty straightforward but powerful idea. It organizes all of its remedies into these categories it calls a series, and each one of these series is designed to target a very specific part of the body, like the circulatory system or the nervous system. Okay, so we know about this series framework, but how does that actually work in practice? Well, you're about to see just how meticulously this entire system is organized. All right, check this out. This is basically the system's master plan. The book lays out 8 core remedy series, and each one gets a code letter and has a really clear target. So you've got S for scrofoloso, which is aimed at metabolism, all the way down to Ven for venereal, which is meant to address the body's general constitution. Every single remedy fits neatly into one of these buckets. To really get this, let's zoom in a little. We're going to take a closer look at just one of these categories, the remedies designed for the respiratory system, and see how this whole logic unfolds. The book calls this series Petrale. Makes sense, right? All the remedies in this group are marked with the letter P and are focused entirely on the lungs and your respiratory tract. And what's cool is the text itself gives us a clue about where this series fits into the whole puzzle. It's described as being a kind of bridge, positioned right between the remedies for your blood and the remedies for your body's tissues.
And here is where things get really specific. Within this Petrarelle family, each remedy has its own distinct job. The book even notes that P3 is a key remedy for women and children, while P4 is designated as the best option for the elderly. It's a really granular approach.
Now, beyond those main series, the book introduces a really special category, 5 fluids that it calls electrols. So what makes them so special? Well, they're described as having this dual nature. They can either stimulate the body or calm it down. This whole idea of duality is the key thing to get here. Take blue electrol. It's the perfect example. The book claims that if you take it undiluted, it acts as a stimulant for low blood pressure. But if you add water and dilute it, it supposedly becomes a sedative for high blood pressure. That's 2 totally opposite effects from the exact same substance. Okay, so we've got the series and the electrols. How are they actually used? Well, the book lays out these really complex formulas, combining all these individual remedies to address over 200 different conditions.
The book gives us this long list of ailments. For our first example of a formulation, let's look at how it suggests treating a common skin condition, which is identified in the text as ringworm.
And here it is, the prescribed formula. It's a complex 10-part cocktail. And you can see all the codes we've been talking about, right? You've got S remedies, C remedies, and even 2 different electrols, the white and the yellow, all combined into one very specific treatment. All right, let's take one more example from the book. This one is for a condition it identifies as stomatitis, which is basically just an inflammation inside the mouth. Now, what's interesting here is the 2-pronged approach the book recommends. It specifies an internal formula that you're supposed to take orally, and a completely separate mixture to be used as an external gargle. So we've seen the mechanics, the series, the electrols, the formulas. But what's the core philosophy that's driving all of this? Let's take a look at the bigger ideas described in the book. This quote from the text really gets right to the heart of it. The system places a huge emphasis on constitutional remedies, which are designed to fight what the book describes as hereditary or inherited defects. So our tour of this pocketbook shows us a fascinating, highly structured system built on codes and categories. It's really a snapshot of a very specific approach to health. And it leaves us with a bigger question, right? What does a system like this reveal about our ongoing, centuries-long search for order, for meaning, and for wellness in the face of illness?